Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches, RuPaul's Drag Race Season 2, Episode 5. Here comes the bride. Real quick, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink. Trywink.com/moviebitches. $20 off your first month. Try it out. And make sure, if you guys are enjoying these reviews, please subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your coworkers. Tell RuPaul. Just, shout it from the rooftops. I love Movie Bitches! Other piece of housewarming.
Housewarming?
Yeah.
A present for you, you're gonna be mad.
Yeah. A little bit of housekeeping. We are taking next week off for Christmas, so sorry not sorry. In lieu of a Drag Race episode, though, we will have a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
So enjoy that. And then we'll be back in the new year with episode 6. So
yes.
Just 1 week off. You'll survive. We need it for, sanity. There's a lot of cookies to bake, and they're not going to bake themselves.
There's a lot of cookies to be frosted.
They really frost my cookies. Anyway, this episode is fucking dramatic and wonderful. So
the episode starts. They did this thing this season where they would show them awkwardly in their hotel rooms, brushing their teeth and such, and they promptly have stopped doing that since. But almost the first shot of the whole episode is Morgan McMichaels waking up in cargo shorts.
Yeah.
And then she's like, to the alarm clock. No. It was like a bad student project. Where it's like, okay, we're gonna have you wake up. Oh, I'm not in my pajamas. It's okay. Like, we don't have time.
Yeah.
Just wear what you're wearing.
Yeah, just hop in bed and pretend like you really don't want to wake up.
And you're going to hit the alarm clock like people do in the movies. I liked it.
So, the mini challenge this week was silly, but kind of fun.
Yeah.
It was to dress up a box.
They had to gift wrap a box.
Yep. In their style, I guess.
Something. Yeah. They had accessories, they had wrapping paper, they had to borrow something.
They had to borrow something, they had a new box.
It's like the wedding theme.
And they had something old of theirs, and they had a new box.
But
and
there
then
was
inside,
blue.
There was a blue envelope.
Oh,
that
it was
said
blue.
They were
I
getting
forgot
married.
that the envelope itself was blue.
It was really more like violet, but whatever.
So some of the boxes are worth talking about, some are not.
Yeah.
Raven does a Edgar Allan Poe goth-themed box.
Yep.
Loved
it.
Looked like a Tim Burton prop.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
It'd be in Halloween Town,
Sure.
Pandora's looked like a Fraggle Rock character, which was exciting.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Morgan's just had everything that ever could be on it.
Yep.
It was like a 12-year-old boy's birthday. Oh, Tyra's was,
yes.
It looked like a wedding gift.
Yeah.
I mean, which is appropriate, but it looked like, oh, that belongs to the wedding. And then she did that tag that was like,
to Ru from America's sweetheart, Tyra. I love it.
And everyone's faces.
Everyone's like,
she thinks that she's America's sweetheart, but it's like, no one knows who you are. What?
does she thinks that?
Yes!
I'm confused
She
by
thinks
her.
she's Beyonce, Avaryl.
Is Beyonce America's sweetheart?
Yeah, in certain ways.
Okay.
I would say, yeah. If there were anyone that you could point to and be like, America's Sweetheart 2016.
Beyonce? Okay.
I mean, maybe Michelle Obama, sure, but
yes.
I don't know who. Lady Gaga, no.
Jennifer Lawrence?
Not anymore, because she rubbed her butt on some sacred Hawaiian stones.
Raven wins.
Yes.
And she gets to pick out, they bring out a dress rack of wedding dresses, and she gets to pick hers first. And then she gets to pick the order of everybody else who gets to pick. Mm-hmm. And Juju lent her the literal raven on top of her package, and so Juju just keeps being like, girl!
I'm thinking it's me, because I'm like, girl, I hope this bitch win.
I'm gonna go with Morgan.
I mean, it didn't really matter, I don't think. No one was like, oh my god, I got the worst dress ever.
Well, the weird thing was, there wasn't just enough So it wasn't like there was when Tati got picked last, and I was like, oh, she's stuck with the only one left. Oh no, there was like 15.
There
choices.
was like 15 dresses for 7 people. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay.
So they each pick out a wedding dress, and then Ru is like, oh, here's the table full of fabrics, like go pick them out, and they all run for it, and Tyra like runs and then like pulls the dress rack behind her like a curtain and like blocks everybody.
Yeah.
And she's done that multiple times.
She has.
Where she like, I got all the fabric for the Barbie challenge. Like she like pushes people all the way. Well, and then there was talk, I didn't really see it. We can like maybe slow it down and look. There was talk that like then Tati pushed it over after Tyra pushed it behind her. Was that intentional?
I think so.
But Tyra's was certainly intentional.
Tyra's was certainly intentional, and knowing Tati, hers was probably intentional as well. Being like, well then, fuck you, bitch. Oh, fuck you, bitch? No,
Oh,
fuck you, bitch. Not a cute look. Tyra really showed her age in this episode.
There was a lot of immaturity and just
childishness.
Very petty childishness.
Yep.
So then Matthew Anderson
Oh my
comes
God.
in to give them all makeup consultations, and he's
Yes.
dressed like a character from Oliver, and I loved it. It's like, you're making this work, and I love it.
Yes.
And he goes around to each station and is like, oh, you could fix this to each of them.
And it gets pretty brutal, and I loved it.
It was very matter of fact.
Who's so young in person? Oh, she's a little old looking.
I know exactly what I'm talking about. You
Yep.
can take my advice or leave it. I'm not really saying this to be a cunt, but
No.
I'm just saying how it is.
Yeah, this worries me because it looks a mess.
He tells Jessica, he's like,
Sometimes your face worries me.
I think you should lighten up on your shading and do
Like,
highlights
yep,
here and
yeah.
do this, that.
Which is great. I mean, and then she did, and she looked fabulous.
Oh yes, we'll talk about like
Yeah.
who took his advice and who did not
Yeah.
take his advice.
Magic markers.
Sometimes it gets a little bit magic marker.
Just saying, MM are her initials.
And there's this moment that I always remember for some reason where he's like, he tells Tyra to have like a moister
Oh yeah.
look, and she's like, well, I don't have oily skin.
On
Oh, well, I don't have oily skin when I'm in drag because, like, my skin is not oily. And then it was pretty good. And then they cut to Raven, and Raven is just like,
I do have oily skin. I'm 30 years old and I still look 22 because I have oily skin.
do you? 22.
so the main challenge this week is they have to do a photo shoot where they're both the bride and the groom. The day before, they take photos as the groom,
Right.
and they show them all like getting into tuxes, and it's very awkward.
It is.
Like in a cute way.
It is.
So, like, they're clearly all varying degrees of uncomfortable
Right.
with wearing tuxes. Like,
Right.
there's just something like they're not really feeling it. And I'm not saying they looked bad in the tuxes. There was just something
No.
about like in their mindset, they're on a show for drag, and
Right.
they have all this fabulous drag stuff, and then they have to get into these tuxes that they haven't designed or anything.
Sure. Well, but they were also doing it very like drag king-y style,
Yeah.
which I thought was kind of fun and also kind of disappointing for me.
Which I am convinced should be called Drab King.
Right.
I think it would be great.
Dressed as a boy.
Dressed as
as a
a
girl.
boy.
Dressed as a boy. Drab is like, oh, well, that's not a good, like, who wants to be a drab
But
king?
drag.
Yeah, like, oh,
such
what a drag.
I
So,
think drab is the perfect acronym, and I kind of want people to
we
adopt
can make it
that.
happen.
Make it happen.
you guys.
Oh, I'm in drab. So they're all getting ready, and Tyra's like, well, I drew on some facial hair, and then here I see Tati drawing on facial hair, and Pandora.
Pandora's.
They're all just copying me. They're stealing my ideas. My Tyra's gotten a lot better.
And Tatiana comes and draws on the facial hair. And it was pissing me off because this is my hard work and you're like stealing my ideas.
It was like as if Tyra's the only person that's ever drawn on facial hair. I was just like, calm down.
We're supposed to look more like, you know, like, oh, we have to be the groom to set off our bride.
Yeah.
So I really want to accentuate the male aspect of it. Wouldn't you put on facial hair? That's the easiest thing you can do to differentiate it.
No, she's the genius.
Genius.
She thought of it first.
I
Everyone's
better
a
get
copycat.
credit for my
I hope I go
ideas.
out there first.
Right.
So that everyone else looks like they're just doing Tyra.
I'm telling you, she's delusional.
She's immature is the perfect word.
Yeah.
She's mature in her ideas and her
Sure.
looks and
Sure.
her fashion and
Yes.
and the details of that, but like in her actual personality, she has a lot of immaturity that comes out. So they all do their photo shoots, which we'll talk about later during the runway. And then they go back to the workroom and they're all working on their wedding dresses. And they start to sort of talk about gay marriage, and they're having sort of a like semi-real conversation. You're like, oh, well, I feel this way about it. I feel this way about it. Oh,
oh, well, I'm gonna start.
Gay people not being allowed to marry, to me, is a kick in the ass.
What's the fuck song was she even singing? By the way? Oh, is that a wait? Was it? What song?
I forget. It was a Beyonce song. I mean, it was hardly recognizable as anything aside from screeching.
Do you think Tyra's singing could be, you know, deemed attempted murder? Huh? I'm saying, do you think your singing could be deemed attempted murder?
Tyra has her earphones in, her infamous earphones in, and just keeps fucking feeling her oats with her veil, singing, and they're all like, they keep getting interrupted. They'll be like, oh, well, you know, I've been with my boyfriend for...
Would your family come to your wedding?
I really honestly wouldn't even...
I cannot.
She knew exactly what the fuck she was doing, by the way.
It was the most obnoxious thing.
It was very obnoxious.
It was just this childish, obnoxious cry for attention.
That's rude. Like, you were being inconsiderate. Just own it. If you're like, look, I needed to get ready and I was being selfish, yeah. Okay, that's at least something. But to be like, oh, I didn't know I was being annoying.
And I'm just in my own world. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention to any of the other girls.
I feel like she was wanting to be antisocial.
Yep.
And yet also wanting to get under people's skin.
And put on a show.
Yeah.
It was like, I want people to be looking at me and talking about me and whatever. It was purposefully distracting.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And they're just like, we hate you. Like, everyone decides that they hate her. So then they're all getting ready. And she is, for reasons unknown to me, is gluing pieces of lace to her leg. And then she keeps going, ah!
Keep burning yourself, bitch. I mean, why would you hot glue things to your skin?
Juju was giving me life this episode.
Oh my god, she was so shady and I loved it. She was just like not having it.
But who does that? I thought it looked fucking ugly as fuck, so...
The glued on...
I was like, did she spill paint on her leg? What is happening? Like, it looked like she didn't see a wet paint sign. I'm sorry. Like, oh no, that railing was just painted white!
Damn! What am I gonna do now?
Right before my wedding? What am I gonna tell my grandchildren? No, but honestly, who fucking hot glues fabric to themselves? I can't. That's all I'll say. Anyway, quick commercial break. We'll be back with the runway, their photo looks, and a lot of Untucked. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why are you talking?
Why are you talking? The runway.
God, Ru walks out.
Walks
in
down.
this like ethereal...
It looked like rose petals. It just looked very
eleganza.
Soft and feminine, and I liked the skin, the colors with her skin tone.
Yeah,
like
it's just all
and the
very
wig.
soft.
It looked really nice.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I like this.
It's a pretty little picture.
Pretty little picture.
I also thought that Merle looked really pretty.
Merle had her
hair,
extensions in, and she had just like another kind of soft, blushy color on her blouse.
Yeah.
It's very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So, first down the runway, Sahara Davenport.
I actually didn't mind it. The judges did not like it. I didn't love it, but like, I got it.
It was a clear idea.
Yeah.
Which is more than you could say about other people. The dress did look shitty.
Yeah,
and it was white, and then the bottom half was like
cream.
peach.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't like that at all.
No. I liked the idea. It could have been better executed.
Yeah.
I liked her picture a lot, though. She had like a military dude.
There was too many ideas for me. It was like, and she's a ballerina, and he's an officer. Where is this wedding happening?
Yeah.
You know, maybe if
she wants to be the ballerina. It was like On the Town meets like I don't know.
Swan Lake.
Yeah.
What if he had been dressed as what's the male version of a ballerina?
It's actually just ballerina.
Ballerina. If he'd had those like gray tight ballerina pants.
Or
with,
maybe
like,
it's ballerino.
Ballerino? That seems weird. With like those gray ballet tights with the cod piece.
Yeah.
You know, like a flowing open top. I mean, it would have been like silly, but it would have been clearer.
It would have been clearer where it's like, oh, they're a ballet couple.
Like, tell me a story.
They were doing a show in Vegas and they both decided to just go get married straight off the show.
Yeah, great. Love it.
Yeah, that would have been really fun. But then he would have had to have, like, that ballet stuff because where would they have gone? Like, you know, that's it.
Make it work.
I guess.
Next on the runway, Morgan McMichaels in a terrible dress.
Yeah.
She has like a cotton ball poof skirt.
There was a lot of this, like, short, poofy skirt with a long train.
Yeah.
And I did not like, personally, any of them. Tyra did do the best job of all of the short skirt, long trains. But I didn't like any of them. Her photo was also bad.
Oh my god. It looked like Pete Wentz and Angeline were getting married.
Which I guess, hey, that's a concept. I mean,
like,
whatever.
If she had said that, I would have been like, yes! But it just seemed that she was like, I've got this punk side.
Punk rocker. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't. She did have a concept and she stuck to it.
I guess. I don't know. And she had this really dark lipstick on. She did not take Matthew Anderson's advice.
Not really,
She
no.
still had the magic marker eyebrows.
I mean, they were a little smaller, like they were finer, but they were still just like, oh good, she took a Sharpie and like, she went from like the super jumbo Sharpie to like a regular Sharpie.
Fine tip.
Exactly. So then next up was another short dress, long train. Tyra Sanchez.
Oh.
I personally do not understand the judges in this dress.
I thought she looked gorgeous. She looked really pretty. She had this effervescent, you know, young spring bride with
She
the
definitely
big
had the
flowers
young-
and the smile and the cute hair. Like, it looked
Yep.
like Hillary Banks from Fresh Prince was getting married. You know, it was just like very over the top, rich, you know, rich bitch, rich daughter,
Sure,
spoiled
yep.
brat. Like,
Yep.
who, me? I'm the best, you know. She sold it. She lights up the runway.
Yes.
You know?
She does.
She lights up the runway.
Yep.
So, yeah.
She's just such a fucking cunt.
The reason I never really wanted her to win was because I didn't feel like she really had an arc.
No.
It was like, we think you're great, you know, everyone else, all the contestants hate you, but we still think you're great. You still win. You're still winning all these challenges. You're great. You're great. Yeah, you should probably learn something. But it was like she kept getting a free pass.
Yeah.
Like when Ru woke her up from that nap, I was like, oh, this is like a total deal breaker.
Right?
And then it was like, oh, you know, Tyra.
Well, and
like,
I
it
mean,
seems like she gets away with murder.
She does, and it's interesting. I loved that Merle was like, if it was up to me, she'd be gone this week.
Her attitude sucks. And if it was up to me, I'd vote her off right now.
And if the judges can tell,
Tyra's picture, it looked like the groom was like surprised to be photographed. Like it looked like he was like, oh, it's happening. They felt very disconnected. She, as the bride, looked very cute. But there was a lot of space between them. Her guy, the look was very profiled. I didn't get a sense of really what was happening.
No.
Plus, she drew on really, really, really neatly trimmed facial hair, which I hate.
I can't believe that she won. I just don't understand. She didn't have a good photo. Her runway was fine, but I thought there were better.
Her runway was good.
It was. I mean, it was good, but like
She looked great.
She looked good.
Okay.
She sold it.
She sold that look.
But also her attitude was shit.
Yeah.
Why would you reward that?
Because she apologized. I think Ru's really in love with her.
She was. Moving on. I'm over her.
Okay. Oh my god, next up was Raven, who I fucking loved.
Raven's was the best.
Best. Hands down. Best photo, best dress. Best
She
runway.
had a story.
Yeah.
She had a really great dress and a look and an outfit. She did her makeup well.
Gorgeous.
She fucking nailed it, and she deserved the win. And every one of these bitches will tell you.
I should have won the challenge. Everyone in that room will agree with me.
It was like if Little Bo Peep got a designer wedding gown made, you know.
Well, I love that she's like, he's 36 and she's going on 16. It was like my super sweet 16 meets wedding. Like,
yes!
And I loved it. And I loved the blue heels with the white bow on it.
Yeah, well, and the dress had the blue bows.
The dress had the blue bows.
With the blue headband. Oh, loved it.
Loved
and
it.
their picture they looked like they were in the same room.
Yep.
It was very cute. I genuinely like felt emotions from them. Like she is doing just like, yes, I'm married, and he is doing this cute like, oh my god, but I love you. Like he has this whole like look in his face like, I'm so excited because you're crazy, but I love it.
Well, it was just like my big fat Sicilian wedding. Like,
right. Hands down my favorite photo.
Yeah, I thought Raven deserved the win.
Yeah,
I
me too.
Talk about a jip. I mean, 2 weeks in a row now, Ru got it wrong. So the next up was Jessica Wilde, looking fucking gorgeous.
Well, she, I think more than anyone, took Matthew Anderson's advice really to heart, and she looked so much more fishy and feminine and beautiful. There was just like a glow about her.
Absolutely. I think it helped that he gave her a lot of specifics.
Real specific.
I would highlight here and
like
shadow
right
here
yeah.
and do, it's like, oh, this is a tutorial.
But that probably has to do with the fact that she was like, oh, tell me, like.
Yes, well, how can I fix that?
How can I fix that? Let me know, you know, like, instead of like, oh, cool, yeah, whatever.
Oh, okay, thanks. Good girl. And she did, and she looked gorgeous. Gorgeous.
She had a real flamenco, like, she had like a fan on her shoulder, which I really liked.
Who was it?
Martha Wash was like,
oh yeah,
I didn't like that thing on her shoulder, and I was like, it was gorgeous. You're like hiding behind it, and then it's like, what?
Well, like Ru was like, she's wearing her veil on her sleeve, or on her shoulder, whatever. Yeah. I was like, I thought
the fit was great. Yeah. You know, it seemed like if Jessica Wilde did get married, this is 100% what she would wear.
Absolutely. I also loved her photo.
I loved her photo because they were the only ones that actually seemed in love.
Right?
She looked so excited to be marrying Jessica Wilde.
But isn't she? Like, I loved it. Oh my god. But also,
felt like,
he was giving me some, like, Dev Patel Little Lamb realness.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We were just like, oh, you're just like a little lamb. Yeah. It was like this cute little, like, young, 18-year-old boy who's super excited to be marrying this, like, big dynamo of a fabulous woman.
Yes. They seemed in love.
Yes.
More than anyone.
Loved it. Loved it. I thought she did great.
So next down the runway was Tati. Holy shit, this was horrible.
Tati.
It was so bad.
You guys, like, her style in this season, I don't know your body, know your shape, like, come on, why not work that body? Like,
she did look she looked bigger than, like, she needed to be.
Well, she had way too much fabric on.
Yeah.
Like, she could have done something a lot more kind of slutty, whatever.
Slinky,
Like, and use your age, too. You're young, so make yourself a young bride. Make this a shotgun wedding. Make it a shotgun wedding.
Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, just have a bit. Like, I'm
literally
surprised
have a bump.
Nobody did that, and then it's like, oh, funny girl.
Yeah. Like, Pandora probably would have
done that, yes. Her photograph looked like, oh, well, we went to senior prom and we decided let's just get married.
Basically. Winter formal, maybe. She was disappointing. It was really frustrating for me was that I felt like she was somewhat justified in her... I mean, she was totally justified in her critiques of Tyra. Was she justified in, like, the way that she said it? I still don't think that that's the classy way to go.
Tyra is the complete bitch.
But, probably would have done the same. But I feel like for me, what frustrated me was that if you're gonna do that, then I feel like you got to back it up. This is 3 weeks, I think, in a row now that she's had awful runways.
Has she ever had a good one? No, she hasn't. Runway's not her strong suit.
But then what is?
Her personality.
Well, sure.
Her fishy face.
Yeah. She was lucky she had immunity.
Yes.
Because she would have been on the bottom, for sure. And she probably would have gone home to either Morgan or Sahara.
Maybe. Next up was Pandora Boxx, which I loved.
I loved.
She had this like Jane Austen Regency era, you know, like, no, because look, not like as well made, but it had that baby doll, you know, waistline, and it went down. She had this otherworldly sort of like, she looked like an oil painting. She really gave me like a lot of storyline.
I didn't get Old Days. Again, for whatever reason, I got Sarah Jessica Parker. There must be some way that she does her face that for whatever reason, it just reminds me of Sarah Jessica Parker, but in like a very elegant way. But, I really liked the dress. The judges didn't seem to like it, but I thought
they did and they didn't.
Well, I think they wanted more. They wanted more like wow, and it was just very elegant, like ethereal, whatever.
For me, yeah, I don't know. It looked like classic.
Well, and she took Matthew Anderson's advice for
her
a good
eyes
extent.
too. Yeah,
she lightened up her eyes, which really did brighten her face. It kind of made her less like intense.
Well, he said to her, "You look really cute. You could be beautiful." And I feel like it really did help. Oh my god, and then her photo was insane.
Insane.
And I didn't mind it.
It was like kind of great because like Santino, it was like really was a story. It was like, what is this? But okay.
She's dressed like a police officer, but the outfit is about 2 sizes too big. And it looks like she's got this terrified deer in headlights look, and it looked like, oh God, I just realized I'm gay, but now I have to, you know, to keep up appearances, I have to stay married to this lady, and like it was telling
in order to get my pension.
Yeah, right? It was like there was a lot going on, and I kind of loved it. It was certainly the most like, what?
What? So then, my personal favorite of the night.
Really?
Well, Raven, for sure.
Yes.
But Jujubee.
I mean, I loved it too, but.
Just the fucking pinnacle of eleganza.
Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds.
And just like
she had an interesting silhouette.
Yeah.
You know, it really was an hourglass.
What do they call it when it's bustled or whatever, but like in the front?
Yeah, bustle.
Yeah.
It looked like, you know, it was her second wedding. Like it looked like, or like we're renewing our vows, and this is the jewelry he got me. You know,
right?
Like,
yes. Always looks classy.
Yeah, always.
Just elegant fucking bitch, and I love it. I love Jujubee.
How can you not?
So much. So much.
And her portrait was, I mean, her picture was kind of funny because they each individually looked pretty, but they were giving each other side eye.
Oh, yes.
Which was kind of fabulous.
It was like kind of this like,
Who, you?
Yeah.
We're getting married? I guess. That was funny that they were both doing it.
They were both given face. Face. I give face. Beauty face. I
miss BB.
Just
I miss Nina.
Both of them were just like so good.
We got so spoiled.
So spoiled, you know? Like BB would have destroyed Tyra.
Yep.
She would have just been like, look, you are a child. I'm going to speak very eloquently and tell you in a very, like, you know, matter of fact way that you need to grow up and learn a thing. Also, I am fierce and fabulous, and sit your ass down.
Yep.
Have several seats.
So, oh boy, so then during the judges' critiques, which this seemed definitely like in some way orchestrated by the producers because this has never really happened before. Yeah. Ru is like,
what are the judges not seeing on the main stage?
Tatiana.
I don't think that you're seeing that Tyra is a complete bitch.
Oh,
we went there. Okay.
And then there's a pile on. Pandora's like,
I completely agree with what Tatiana says. I don't think that the face that you see of Tyra is what we're seeing backstage.
And Juju is like,
just get yourself some manners so you won't look so damn stupid.
Oh, right, but then Tati is like, because Tyra's trying to like victimize herself, and Tati is just like,
you really shouldn't play the victim. It doesn't suit you.
I loved that Tati was basically just saying what everyone was feeling. You know?
Right, well, Tyra goes down the line and she's like, do you think I'm a bitch? Do you think I'm a bitch? Do you think I'm a bitch?
Morgan, do you think I'm a bitch?
No, I think you have a goal.
Raven, do you think I'm a bitch?
No.
no, whatever, because they're both bitches, so they're like,
Yeah.
I don't care. And Sahara's like,
Sahara, do you think I'm a bitch?
I think sometimes you're selfish.
That was actually the most diplomatic. Sahara was the most diplomatic, where she's just like, I'm gonna say something, you know.
true, but also keep it classy.
Yeah.
I was not doing that to make anyone upset or like make anyone unfocused. Maybe next time I will sing, and maybe she'll get another horrible dress like she has on now.
So then Tyra wins, which I think was some bullshit.
I think it was some real ass bullshit, particularly because it's just like,
Wouldn't you, as Ru, take all that stuff, make a point to not have her be in the bottom, but just be like, here's a warning.
yeah, you're doing well, but you can't just sleep through this competition.
Uh-huh.
Fix your attitude, and you can go far.
And you could win this whole thing.
But because of that, you're not the winner tonight. Raven, you are. You win a trip for 5 nights to fucking Palm Springs.
Right.
And immunity. And immunity this late in the game.
Oh, and she needs it next week. So Sahara and Morgan are in the bottom 2, and they announced that Sahara's in the bottom 2, and the editors are just like, wah, wah. Here's her like sad point shoot duck feet.
I'm pretty sure it's the same shot.
It's the exact same shot that they used during the critiques, like, wah. When Santino was like, you know, the point shoot, when you're on point, they look okay, but when they're not, it's not a good look, and it's true.
It is true.
Point shoots look stupid when you're not on point. And then Morgan is told that she's in the bottom, and she does this really weird, uncomfortable laugh.
Why are you laughing?
I always laugh. It's a nervous thing, I think.
So then they lip sync
Yeah.
to Carry On
Yep.
by Martha Wash.
Yep.
It's a great one.
It was a real good one, and Sahara just takes it away.
Well, like, there's 2 sides. Okay, so like, it's kind of weird watching her on point, like, to this emotional. So, like, there was something that I'm like, this looks stupid. But then,
well, it looked stupid when she went like real, like wide, like.
there was like some dance moves where I was like, this isn't the right song.
I
for
mean,
this.
she was like full on, just like doing squat, like
waddling.
Like it was wider. It was like this wide. Like, what are you doing? I don't know.
But then she does fucking splits off the stage, like into splits, and Ru was just like, yes, and everyone's like, holy shit. And I thought Morgan did a
very good job.
Very good job. You know, she
didn't give up,
lip sync.
which
She
is
didn't
good.
give up. Like, she had a great lip sync, but it was just like Sahara seemed to really go the extra, you know, and really be like, no, bitch, I'm staying.
Yeah.
And that was the case. Sahara
I'm
stayed.
telling you.
Yeah, it seemed like I'm here.
Yeah.
And
Bitch.
Sahara stays, Morgan
Yes.
goes.
Yes.
Raven's very upset.
Very upset.
But it lights that fire under Raven, so I'm not totally mad about it.
I mean, it was the obvious decision, so, you know, I'm not mad about it.
And so then Morgan is packing up. And she seems really fun.
Right? I
Like,
think
Morgan-
Morgan, once the weight was lit, like the pressure was off.
competition of it all, she seemed so much more just light and airy and fun.
Like the Morgan that I've since come
Yes.
to like know and appreciate from.
She was just like being kind of goofy.
Yes.
Hello, Mom. I'm coming home.
But then she's packing up and she has this very large and ugly peasant top, and I was like, what was that for?
It was to introduce her mother as her Russian booby. So, Untucked.
Yes. Holy shit. This is like maybe like in the top 5 untucks of all time.
It's a
good one.
It's a good one.
It's a real good one. Well, it starts and it's just silence. And awkward strings, and it lays there, and it lasts for minutes on end, and it's like, oh, and everyone's like, girl, Tyra, are you okay?
Tyra, are you okay?
Silence. You want a drink, girl? Nope. Silence. Like, she is just like collecting her thoughts. It was real awkward.
It was. It was. And
And
then
then-
she and Tati just like go into it, and Tati breaks it down and she's like, look, girl, this is what happened. I came up to you and I was like, you know.
I started out polite,
Yep.
and I said, can you stop singing? And you were like, what? And you were giving her attitude. This is my thing. Tati does come off as, like, somewhat defensive at times, but I believed her side of the story. Tyra knew what she was doing. You can't be that fucking clueless. This whole, I had headphones in, oh, I couldn't hear anything.
Do you think Tyra singing could be, you know, deemed attempted murder?
She was pretending like it was...
She was just playing dumb the whole time.
I didn't know I was upsetting you guys. I didn't know I was annoying.
If I would have heard your words, I would have not asked, what did you just say? Because I had another earphone with music blasting.
Oh, you have your headphones in
self-awareness.
after running around screaming, and someone comes up to you and taps you on the shoulder, and you don't know what they're gonna tell you?
Well, even if... Stop singing. You don't need to be like once they've asked you... You don't need to be,
her thing was, I didn't hear that
vindictive.
you asked me to stop singing.
No,
What do you think she said, you dumb cunt? Like, what?
I think what she was saying was that she asked her, she didn't hear her, then Tati asked her in a not nice way, so she actively decided to keep being annoying. That's how I read it.
If I would have heard you say that, I would have been quiet. And that's when you jump back in the conversation. Shut the up. Just shut the up. And that's what pissed me off.
So then to speak to her, because her whole thing is like, if you have something to say it to my face.
Right.
And then later on, Tati's like, but I did say it to your face, and then you decided you didn't give a fuck, so then I just kept talking about you behind your back because fuck you. And I'm like, that's fair.
She was like, did you or did you not know exactly how I felt about you by the end of last night? And Ty was like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change the subject because, like, I didn't hear you because of the headphones. And you're like, you did not answer the question. It was just, tensions were high.
Tensions were high. They hated each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, a fight was ready to break out.
Mm-hmm. And it did.
There isn't anything else to say.
But why are you talking?
Why are you talking?
Well, then why are you looking in my direction?
Right. Then why are you looking at me? But she was, I mean, it was obvious. It's so childish. The two of them, of course. I mean, but of course, 21. The 21-year-olds are gonna be the ones that get in the fight.
If I don't like you, I don't like you.
And I don't like you. Are you happy? I don't like you.
I'm
saying
not
it to your
talking
face.
to you.
So then Juju and Sahara and Pandora, like, escape.
Oh, yes, they're, like, fleeing.
They're
like in exile.
we have to go in the other room to be like, this bitch. And so Juju is done. Like, Juju is done.
So she's a child. That's what it is. Children shouldn't be in a next drag superstar contest, okay?
And then Sahara says something like...
She hated me because I said Beyonce had cellulite.
This episode in particular of Untucked, there was a lot of things that I was like, wait, why didn't we see that? There was a lot of, like, because they were so emotional, clearly things had happened when the cameras weren't rolling that they were all referencing.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's the tape? I want to see it.
Tyra lashed out and like lunged for her, like ran after her from the one side of the dressing room to the other. And it came out of nowhere.
Play the tape. Like, I kept being like, and then this is when the editors played the tape. Oh, they didn't play the tape.
Because so the whole drama too that we'd never seen was apparently the night before or whatever, like Tyra just gets up in Tati's face.
You all act as if I jumped on this girl and beat her ass.
You did bump me. Your body was touching me. You were doing it, doing it, doing it, doing it.
She's doing it and doing it and doing it.
Wow. Wait, I mean, she didn't say that.
No,
but, I mean,
but it seemed like she was. And I was like, well, I want to see this. But clearly, I mean, obviously, if they had it, they would have shown it to us.
I guess so. I mean, I really thought they were going to play the dress rack thing 8 times. You know, her
right?
Like, I was like, where's
or
that
also
tape?
they could have played.
Or the excuse me, please stop talking, because it was like edited real kind of fast and quick and weird. Yeah. And when Tati breaks it down, is like, then this happened, then I said this, then you said this, then I said this, then I said this, then you said that. I was like, and then we play the tape and find out who's lying? No, you didn't play the tape.
You didn't do it.
I got so mad.
I know.
So then another, I think, like maybe my most favorite thing in the world, I don't know, possibly, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but am I? Is when on Untucked, someone's talking shit, and then it's like, the person that they're talking about, the door opens and they're there, and then it's just like...
She models herself after Beyonce, and that's all she does. What else can you do?
Oh, hi, Tyra.
Oh, Tyra's here. So that was this week's Untucked. Oh boy, was it dramatic.
Oh my
but
gosh.
in the best way.
In the best way.
It was
like
really good.
It was like silliness.
Yeah.
I just,
Not feeling it.
It's interesting. This episode really just reinforced my love for Juju.
This is the episode that really was when everyone decided Tyra was the worst.
I mean, Ru literally had to wake her up, and then she went back to sleep. Are you kidding me? Fuck you, bitch. Get off my show right now.
I feel like Ru now would be like, what the fuck?
Right?
Right? I feel like season 2 was so young.
Yeah, Ru would have been like, girl, this is an opportunity.
Yeah, she would have given her a, Ru level smackdown.
How dare you disgrace this competition with your bullshit? If you don't want to be here, then get out.
I did need a, wake the fuck up, this is important speech from Ru.
Right?
Or Tyra. And then for her to actually wake the fuck up.
And then if she did, that would have been really wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmaka.
We won't see you next week, but we'll see you the week after.
Yep. And we have some more reviews coming out and stuff, so you'll see more of us. And then we'll be back after the new year with more Drag Race. It'll be very exciting. And then before we know it, you guys, season 9 is almost upon us. Let that sink in. Cheers to that.